but the other in-laws get Christmas Day. So we
Oh,
started doing a
yes.
Christmas breakfast.
I
And the
saw your
grandkids would,
Facebook picture.
the grandkids spend the night,
Oh.
and she'll get up and fix
Oh, I
everybody
love
breakfast.
that.
That's
And
neat.
and they love it so good. Like Jason was here by 8 o'clock, and he had to drive from Adair County. So
Listen,
But
I know. Listen,
having
I
to
dread
share
it.
is hard.
I dread it.
I'm jealous of having to share. So
Well, and then, like my in-laws have a situation where my sister-in-law and her husband divorced and had 4 kids, and so we have to
That's really
do our
December 17th board meeting. We got roll call by Alan Steely, Pledge of Allegiance by Kim Williams, and a moment of silence with Kim White.
Roger Faulkner,
Here.
Donnie Patrick, Kim Williams,
Here.
Kim White,
Here.
that other, he's not here either.
Okay, now,
Speak to us.
Everyone will
Let's-
rise
the
for the
flag.
flag. Oh, it's behind. Oh, whoops.
There's no flag.
it's behind the curtain.
Oh, turn this way. Okay. I pledge
Thank you.
allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
All right, it's time for the setting of the final agenda.
We do have one addition tonight. We actually just got great news that there's a potential that we could have, be a part of the grant application to reinstate our Gear Up grant. And so tonight I would like to add an approval of the MOU for Gear Up so that we can participate in the application grant process.
Okay. Now it's time for the staff recognition.
Okay, tonight we have a big deal. We have one retiree. She's cutting out, her Christmas present is to stay home and hang out with her family. So tonight we have Miss Diana Hall. I do have something here that was written about Miss Hall. Miss Hall has been an amazing asset to the Jacket family for many years. She has always been willing to step up and teach wherever and whenever needed. She has taught middle school, high school, dual credit, and even in-school suspension. We are going to miss her smile and sweet demeanor around our building. Congratulations on your well-deserved retirement. We appreciate the years of your life that you have dedicated to our students and the lifelong impact you made on our district. And so I want to say, as a mom you've had both of my boys, I want to say thank you. You've made a big impression on them also. So we appreciate you and we hope you'll come back. So come on up.
She didn't get a frame.
She's got apple, man. So we'll give her
Well,
one.
you got a certificate out of.
We will give you a frame, okay?
Please give her a frame.
Me and Miss Kayla just had to print it real quick. So here's your apple. And then this is, oops.
Frameless.
You'll get a frame tomorrow.
Thank you.
Mr. Steele will handle it.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's time now for our special speaker. It'll be Shad Allen, Financial Auditors.
You want to call me special, I appreciate that.
You know an auditor's never special.
Every now and then, as long as we're bringing good news, they really like us.
Yeah,
That's what
we
I'm
like
thankful
that. We bought both years, so we'll talk about them both, right? Just kidding. Sock it to us.
All right, so this is your all's, year ending June 30, 2024 audit, which runs from July 1st, 23 to June 30th, 2024. This is our third year doing your all's audit, so we appreciate you all bringing us back. Throughout the profession, we're facing a shortage of accountants, so if you guys want to start pushing students to the accounting field, we'd all appreciate it. Beyond that, also, in the profession, people are getting out of doing financial audits, especially local government, which is what the school districts fall under, so. That's a topic out there too, but as long as we get some more accounting students coming up the pipeline, then hopefully it'll fix itself in a few years. So your all's audit, is compiled of 3 different audits. The first being the financial statement audit. The financial statement audit, what that is we determine if your all's financial statements are fairly presented in a material respect give an opinion on the financial statements. The highest level of opinion is, the unmodified opinion. Quite often it is referred to as a clean opinion, clean audit. So that's what the school district did receive. And then as a result of that, third parties can rely on your all's financial statements as presented in this packet, in this audit. And then, so to actually get to that point, the finance staff provided us with accurate information. They were very helpful, very timely with everything. And then, once we gathered all of our audit evidence, then we were able to actually give that opinion. The second part of the audit is what we call the Yellow Book audit. In that part of the audit, we do an evaluation of your all's internal controls over financial reporting. We determine if they are designed appropriately and if they are operating effectively. How we do that on the design, one of the key things there is that there's two parties involved in all financial transactions. Recently in the news, there was an employee at Macy's that hid, I don't think there's anything stolen, but hid over $100 million in expenses. She was able to do that just because she was solely the person in charge of that. There was nobody else checking her. Obviously, those internal controls were not designed inappropriately. Once we go beyond, so let me step back. No issue like that here in Williamsburg. So your all's internal controls are designed appropriately to determine if they are actually operating effectively, because just because they're designed a way doesn't mean that everybody's always following that. If there are any problems, errors, anything like that throughout the year, that they are detected and corrected on a timely basis. There were no issues like that we found, so we did not have any internal control issues here at Williamsburg that we felt that were actually at the level to be reported. So that's not to say that there aren't some small things here or there, or either way. The second part of the Yellow Book audit is we determine if the school district complied with certain laws and regulations. So those are going to be your KRSs that are applicable to schools. We did not find any issues there, so the school district did comply with that. And then the third part of the audit is what we call the single audit. Similar to the Yellow Book audit, it just pertains to federal expenditures. So any given year when a school district, local government, whoever that it may be, spends over $750,000 in federal money, that's when a single audit is required. When you look here, it will tell us here on page 78, this is kind of a summary of the results of the audit. But in the single audit, we also have to determine certain programs that are considered what we call a major. So those are the only ones that are actually part of that single audit. One of those was the nutrition, food service. The other one is that the COVID money, ESSER, which has come to an end. We also didn't find any issues within that part of the audit. So overall, it was a very good audit, very good results for the school district. A few things that I want to talk about here is throughout the state, some school districts have created recurring expenditures for those ESSER monies. And then now it's finally coming home to hit them. Because they didn't plan for the money to end, but when you create a recurring expenditure, obviously that doesn't end. That wasn't the case here. Your all's fund balance went up about $300,000, which is kind of what I would consider pretty close to flat, which was a very good also. The second thing that I see more and more, there was a presentation of a school district that is local to me yesterday, their audit. It wasn't one that I had done, but they're actually in the negative now in general fund. So that was what kind of caused their issue. They created recurring expenditures for the ESSER money. Money runs out, expenditures there, and you go down. So, one of the key tools in finance is your budget. That's your guide throughout the year of what you can spend, where you're at, and should be monitored frequently. At the school districts that I've seen, the biggest issue, what happens is they budget a beginning balance that is inaccurate. What that causes is the board thinks that there's actually more money there than there is. Not the issue here. Everything was fine here. Once the budget was amended, the original budget, I think they had 2.3 as a beginning balance, should have actually been 1.5 million. That was fixed throughout the school year, so we didn't actually have that issue. But just as a board, as the finance staff, the budget is a very important tool. It shouldn't be overlooked. Once again, the school district did do very good with that. It's just always something to keep in mind. So, very pleased with the finance staff here, the performance of the school district. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask.
That's good.
I thought you were thanking for something.
We're hoping we have a lot of money.
I mean, you do have a healthy fund balance, so you didn't go down.
And we told you to look, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You had me looking at cents there one day. We don't even look at that small stuff here, but not here. One of the big things too is to see how the finance staff, superintendent, are involved in finance, how serious they are. Ms. Housekeeper is very serious about the finance staff, or the finance department, how things are operating and keeping a very close eye on it. That puts us at ease also because it creates, that mindset, what's it called at the top, tone at the top. And it's just, so those kinds of things, really, they give us peace as an auditor.
Are there any questions? We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Chad, we appreciate it.
Okay, now it's time to move on to public matters, hearing of delegations. If there's anybody like to address the board, you could do so at this time. Okay, we'll go on now to superintendent and principal comments.
Tonight, one of the things I want to share, and I'm actually going to turn it over to Mr. Berta and Brad Miller. They are the ones who have been tracking our virtual academy. So back in August, when we asked you to approve the new policy, one of the things that you asked for was to have an update of how this benefits our school district and how students are learning. And so I promised you that in December you would get an update of our virtual academy, and that's what you're going to hear from Mr. Berta.
Yes, so I actually, Dr. Miller and I have worked really hard with our virtual academy since August, actually probably since July. Dr. Miller kind of put together a little graphic for you all. If you all, I think Mrs. Housekeeper has shared that with you guys. We've got 38 students that are kind of enrolled, or I say kind of, that are enrolled in our virtual program.
Semi-enrolled, or what's the difference?
Just a force of habit.
checking.
Yeah, no, they're fully enrolled. Our asynchronous classes through our software program of Edgenuity kind of offers that flexible learning environment. With those 38 students, you can kind of see it's kind of broken down into grade level there. Again, we only offer this program 6th through 12th grade. Just because of the way that the requirements come down from the state. There's an attendance tracking piece, and you can see that it's a pretty high number, right? It's a 99.4% attendance rate for all of our virtual students. But honestly, I'm gonna shoot y'all straight. They check in once a day, right? So they check in once a day, so that's why obviously that attendance piece is pretty high because they check in just that one time.
We gotta do continuing ed and, but I mean, they know we as CPAs are difficult to deal with, so they give us those little zaps, little
Sure.
buttons to hit, like 3 to 5 times an hour probably. Is there a possibility that would, change the 99? I'm not knocking 99, but I'm just saying, is there not a way to check in the middle of a class in the, you know,
Sure,
is that too much to ask?
It may affect that 99% attendance rate just a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest, between myself, Dr. Miller, Miss Kennedy Thompson, and Miss Jones and Jason Smith, our student advocate, those are 5 individuals that these students are touching base with somewhat on a daily basis.
Okay.
Whether it's phone calls, emails, home
But
visits.
is it during the actual class that's going on?
Yes,
Okay.
it's all throughout the day, right?
Okay.
It's whatever, you know, if they've got an issue with their
I'm with
program, yeah, so.
But you understand what
Sure,
I'm saying?
yeah.
I would probably not be at too many of those if it's one
I
check.
understand.
I just got my hours online too,
One of the
so
things
you don't
that
wanna,
do that
you know,
yet.
you
we
do.
have offered with our virtual program this year, is that we allow them to participate in any school function that's occurring. And so because they have this check-in piece, or they have those 5 individuals that they can communicate with, we are able to get that information out to them more effectively, right? And so we see our middle school students participating in our mentorship programs. We see our high school our high school students participating in their high school athletics more. We see that our high school students are participating in more of the in-school performances, whether it be a choir performance, a band performance, whatever activities that are going on. I think some of these students are even gonna come in and participate this week, Friday, with some of the things that Mrs. Winchester has going on. So those things are good. And we know that that social aspect of that also is a big thing
Yeah.
for our virtual students. So that's on the rise as well. Academic progress, again, these students are, you know, they've got access to 5 people that are willing to help them, right? If they have issues with their Chromebooks and with their work, you know, Dr. Miller's able to assist, I'm able to assist, Mrs. Thompson's able to assist, Miss Jones, and we offer a wide variety of academic assistance, right? You know, we've got some math, expertise, you know, Mrs. Winchester has, you know, also helped some of these students, you know, with her math skills, Dr. Miller with his science, you know, so we all together with all of these things, we see a grade point average of 3.5. And honestly, I couldn't tell you exactly what that grade point average was last year, just because we've restructured the way that our virtual has, you know, the requirements for those things. And all of our students have completed the MAP, all of our virtual students have completed the MAP Universal Screener to track their academic progress. And with that, Dr. Miller has established personalized IXL skill plans for each student to meet their learning needs and their goals. So those things are, again, in place so that their academics don't fall on the wayside. That they're not just, hey, I'm a virtual student, I'm just here kind of riding it out. We are still holding them to the high academic standard that we expect from our in-seat students. And then again, you know, there's always a community aspect with anything that we do here at Williamsburg, and the important thing that we have is we developed our tiered system. We developed our tier 1, 2, and 3 system for attendance interventions. We developed our tier system for academic interventions. In the beginning, we saw a little bit of those folks, you know, they kind of got a little behind, and they were like, I think they were just kind of testing the waters, right? They were just like, hey,
What can they get away
yeah,
with?
what can they get away with? And whatever you let them get away with, they're
That's
going
that's
to,
how kids
right?
are. Yeah.
And so, for the first couple weeks there of school, which now it was a rocky start for everybody, but there for the first little bit, we had some students that were kind of falling between, you know, tier 1 and tier 2. And we go out and kind of talk to them and be like, okay, what's going on? And then tier 2 to tier 3. And some of these folks were kind of like, hey, my internet's out. And I was like, hey, you signed the agreement, your parents signed the agreement, you all were supposed to have a reliable internet connection. If not, you gotta come and see, right? And so when we kind of put our foot down on some of these expectations, we see that students are making and meeting the academic progress that we would like for them to. So that community aspect has really turned out well. for, because not only are we holding our students accountable, we're also holding our families accountable to support the needs of their students. Because, you know, if their student was in C, we could support those needs, but we can't go support those needs necessarily in their home. So we have those interventions in place so that it's more of a community effort with those families, and we're meeting the needs of our students. So I think things are going well.
Do you see any areas that you feel like need to be improved? I mean, it looks like it's going great.
It is going well. There's a few things here and there that we could probably just kind of, you know, adjust a little bit just to see what might be better. One of the things, I forgot to mention, one of the things that we are doing again is offering that open enrollment period that I think is going well, because students aren't just, hey, I'm going virtual. No, you know, oh, I want to come back and see. No, it's not, it doesn't work like that. It's hard to track their academic progress with that. So the last open enrollment period is getting ready to open back up, and it's going to end. After we come back from Christmas break, the first week of Christmas break is when that open enrollment period ends. There will be no more students coming into our virtual program. There will be no more students coming out of our virtual program unless they fall into one of these tiers, right? It's not gonna be, oh, I'm doing well, I just wanna come hang out with my friends or whatever and come back. Sorry, it's just too hard, especially when you get into the high school realm of things with credits and graduation requirements and all that. So it's just easier to track those things. Those things are going well. I like the thoughts of maybe adding a second check-in time, just to be honest, you know, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, but we'll see how that kind of works out in the future.
One of the things that I would like to kind of put on the radar going forward is, I've heard a lot in our superintendent meetings and different trainings that people are going away, districts are going away from Edgenuity, and there's a lot of other learning platforms that are available. So maybe coming up before we get into next school year, we might be asking you to think about the learning platform that we purchased, Edgenuity, and see if that's something that we, as a board, we want to change, as a school that we feel like is better for kids. So, but I will say this is going extra well compared to what we were doing last year. This is a growth area, and we have succeeded. This is a celebration. Having people on point to check that and to check in with those families is critical to see that kids are actually making progress and they're being held accountable.
And we'll know more after the test scores come back, just how they compare to the kids.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I personally believe that there's no better way for students to learn, honestly, than in person.
I agree.
Right? But some folks have diverse needs that have to be met, right? And we want to make sure that we increase our enrollment and make sure
That's
that our
right.
students are academically successful based on the facts that we have presented.
And you think about, if you're looking at SEEK dollars, we get almost $4,400 per student, even if they're virtual. That doesn't go down, and it helps us provide and pay for that learning platform along with the extra time that teachers are putting in. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's well worth it.
I'd rather have that than homeschool.
100%.
Yeah.
If we
We've
can,
actually- sorry to cut you
no, I was
off.
gonna
No,
say,
you're
if
fine.
we can support kids through Virtual Academy to keep them from going to homeschool,
Yeah,
that's what's better for them, because we are able to still have access and be able to provide them with instruction
yeah.
that meets academic
There's
standards, and we can support families and love on families that way.
not that there's anything wrong with a homeschool platform.
No, I'm not saying
But
that
there's
either.
structure and there's accountability
Yeah.
that we know that will help make these students successful in the workforce and the, post-secondary readiness and all of those things, so.
And they can be here doing things with other kids, and that's going to help them.
One of the things that I really enjoy about our virtual program is that we allow our students to participate in any activity
Yeah.
that our school is offering.
Yeah,
I've heard of several programs that aren't offering that.
I
So
heard
you're
that
a
too.
You're a virtual student, you can't participate.
That's wrong.
I want our students to participate in everything
You're a
that we have to
student,
offer.
you're a student.
you're a
That's
student, that's
exactly
right, whether you're virtual, yeah, I agree.
And it just
Very good.
allows them to have the benefits of being homeschool if that's what they need,
Yeah,
but they're supported by the school district and they can still have access to
It's a lot
extracurricular
of work on our end, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but
Yeah,
it's
it
well
is.
worth it, just
Yeah.
to make sure that we're meeting our students' needs.
And make them a well-rounded student, and get them better ready for college or the
Active
workplace.
member of society,
Yeah.
You have all range of students in this,
6th through 12th grade.
but I'm talking lower education league ready.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, actually,
Oh,
like I said,
you know what I'm
diverse
saying,
needs.
here,
We've got students that
Oh.
require several different needs versus students who are,
Okay,
you know,
you're doing
so,
it,
yeah,
Because I'm
we're
still
making sure those
superintendent, so
needs
my
are being
mom
met.
talked about
good,
the
great.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All righty.
Okay, so, next on my list, I have two more. I would like to have Mr. Taylor talk about our district facilities plan. And let him kind of share about what are the next step, where have we come so far, and then where are we going next?
Four thirty-one last year, 288 this year, 5.6. Revenue or expenditures 3.7 this year.
Do we need to talk
That
to Tom about
scares
that?
me.
Do we need to talk to Tom about that?
Hmm?
Do we need to talk to
Yeah,
Tom?
yeah. He wasn't late because he was with me.
Exactly. I was right on time.
Was he stuck behind the curtain too?
No, he didn't get stuck. He didn't have to try to crawl through there.
I couldn't be late because I was with Mr. Steely. So, we had our first meeting and public forum for our district facilities plan. That's a plan that is needed every 4 years. Ours is due June 30th of 25, so that is coming up. We have, in October, had our architect from the DECO Architect Group out of Somerset to work on our asset planner and all of our physical space needs. That is currently being placed into the asset planner K-Fix program for the state. We are awaiting go-ahead for our second meeting, which is tentatively scheduled for January the 28th at 5:30 here in the auditorium. Once KDE receives our information from the architect, we will get the go-ahead to do a draft of the facility plan, and hopefully that will be approved at our second meeting. That will then go to KDE. If they approve our draft, then it will come to you. If you approve our draft, at our third meeting, we will be able to send that to KDE to be finalized, and then have our last public forum if there's any questions or concerns. So we're eagerly awaiting what is in the draft plan, and we will also have our fiscal agent here on the 28th to talk about the financial impact that will have on the district. So we're in a really good spot to finalize that, complete that, and have that in preparation for you all to review probably sometime in February. I'm hoping that is the case. We obviously we've had some issues, I guess, facility-wise. We overcome some electrical problems yesterday. We found a few minor problems because of that today that is being repaired, or has been repaired actually. So the facility plan is going to be important so that we can ensure the fact that that the school facility and the district is protected moving forward, and it can be in the best shape that it can be. One thing that I'd like to go ahead and address, if not already, somewhere in your agenda there, you'll get to a change order on our football stadium. And I just want to make a comment because I've got a community concert that I'm going to be late for if I don't. The change order comes from the architects, and if you're not aware, our bleachers were set offset of the 50-yard line when they were done back in the summer. So the change order, there's actually two. There's change order 5 and 6. Change order 5, what that is saying, the district did an overpayment of $38,177 or 17, one of the two, but it was in the neighborhood of $38,000 that's going to come back to the district. So to fix the bleacher problem, we could add 12 feet of bleachers, and what they're going to do is they're basically going to do some some movement of bleachers to ensure the fact that our aisles to the press box match, and also to add that section of bleachers. So I think the seating capacity of that was another 122 seats, if I'm not mistaken. What that's gonna cost the district is $38,558. So there's a difference of $411 to add the bleachers. There's plenty enough money in the contingency to cover that. There might be enough in Mr. Steely's wallet to cover that, I'm not sure. But $411, I think, to add the bleachers is a pretty good, investment there.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you, I guess, in your agenda there to, if we can, approve that.
And that would look better than trying to move what we
Look
got.
much better,
Yeah,
Everything will be in line, we'll get
Yes.
extra seating out of it.
Yeah.
Should be a good
yeah,
thing.
okay.
And we have both discussed this with our fiscal agent, Mr. Anthony Strong through Compass, and he felt like it was a no-brainer
Yeah.
because you don't really get this opportunity very often.
Nope.
And then the other part that he has shared, you know, the risk of changing and messing up what's already been put out there could then lead to additional costs. This is not just the best financial decision, it's the safest decision to make sure that the work that they've done is accurate. So, thank you. All right, Mr. Ehrenbrock, we're gonna go ahead and let you share from WEA. I feel like from now on, we need to move you to the, closer to the top of the agenda, so you're not waiting out the whole thing. So I think that, you can share right now.
Okay. Okay, first, I wanna thank the board for, supporting this housekeeper and allowing her to create the new administrative and coaching roles. These have been a tremendous asset in supporting us. They've been in our classroom, they've been providing us with positive feedback, they've been helping us find free resources, which is something we all love. They've been helping us find innovative resources that you've got to really dig in and search around to find stuff that has been able to really support us, but even more importantly, it's allowed us to support our students. And that consistent positive feedback has been a huge confidence builder for a lot of people, especially with so many new faces in the building. I feel like that's been tremendous across the board and making everybody feel like they're doing a good job for their students. And I've seen a huge confidence boost and morale boost compared to previous years because of all that. It's been fantastic. But it's also allowed us to do so much. We've been able to do, with your all support, so many community performances, having parents come in on community nights and stuff like that. It's been fantastic to get everybody involved again. I feel like there's been a huge drawback of trying to do that stuff ever since we've had, you know, COVID, and there's probably been probably event nights this year in a long time, and people have loved coming in and seeing everything and seeing the school decorated. I mean, seeing all the hallways and how everybody's enjoying it. It's been a huge, huge difference, I feel like, this year. And lastly, I feel like I need to tell this housekeeper and you all administrators that we support you too, because this has been just, I mean, who can imagine it's one thing after another. We were talking about the other day how many weeks in a row we went without having to miss a day because something crazy happens.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out
Yeah.
how many full weeks that we went in a row, really. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
I don't even wanna look at it.
The stress and the anxiety that it's put through, like, we know what it's like, and we wanna let you know we support your guys' decision because we know you're doing what you think is best for our students, and that's the most important decision that there is to make.
I know everything we went through's caused us to rethink our calendar for next year, so.
Oh, I completely understand that. It's been, like I said, so many unpredictable things. Even the first month of school, I feel like it was two unpredictable things.
I know.
I
Crazy.
mean, who would have ever thought the hurricane
Yeah.
could impact Kentucky schools?
Right. I'll never forget it because we were at football practice in the baseball field. Thinking we were gonna have a game. My goodness.
Yeah, crazy.
But thank you all.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Ready for the consent agenda? It's time to move on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions? If not, can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say the same. Motion carried. Now we'll move on to the action agenda. We have got to elect a new board chair for the following year. I'd like to nominate Kim White.
I'll second it.
Can I get got a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say the same. All right, now we got elect a vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Nani Bruce Patrick.
And I know he's not here tonight, but I know he wants it, so can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say the same. All right, it's time to move on to approval of the board meeting dates for January through December 2025.
And if you all don't have them pulled up, I can tell you those dates. We tried to keep the same exact pattern as we did this year.
Yeah.
And really that helps our finance team to get everything ready. When we were doing it too close to the beginning of the month, it made it really difficult for Dalton to get all the things ready because the month hadn't ended. So the first meeting in January would be January 21st. Same thing on Tuesdays. February 18th, March 18th, April 15th. Oh, April 15th, your favorite day.
He's a real great champ.
May 20th, June 17th, July 15th, August 19th, September 16th, October 21st, November 18th, and December 16th.
I'll be absent April 15th.
Okay, we'll put
Pick
that.
whatever day you want.
Okay. Are there
When
any,
was March? I missed that. I could miss it too. Yeah.
March 18th.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
are there any questions? If not, can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the board meetings dates for January through December 2023.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye. Opposed say the same. Motion's carried. All right. Now we're on number 4, approval of the international trip to London, Paris, and Rome for June of 2026.
Okay, I'm gonna have Miss Beth Callahan come and talk about an exciting opportunity for our students. And I'm always loving a good out-of-the-box thinking idea for our students, something to get them engaged, get them, give them relevant reason to learn. And so Ms. Callahan had this great idea. So if we have questions still and you all want to discuss it, there's a way that we can table it, but I'm gonna let her share just the details, so ask any questions that you might have.
So I gave you all little passports and some information about the trip with detailed itineraries. And the trip is to London, Paris, and Rome. And I even gave you a little passport, because I'm cheesy like that. And it's stamped London, Rome, and Paris. If you know me at all, or you've ever stopped into my classroom, you know that I'm very passionate about travel. I've been to 26 countries, and that's just my favorite thing to do. And I want to be able to share that with my students. I talk to them about places I've been, and I ask them about places they want to go, make bucket lists and stuff like that. This also ties in with my the pathway of hospitality, travel, tourism, and recreation. You can actually see this in action. Passports is the company that I've chosen. I have worked with this company before, twice. Actually 3 times in 2009, 2010, I believe was the years. They're an excellent company. They're a smaller company than some of the other educational travel agencies, I guess you could say. They have also been very good to us. They want to extend the early enrollment for us to February 1st so that we could have time to get parent meeting and have time to get all that prepared. The safety and security through passports is the most important thing. And they have a 24-hour emergency line, so while you're gone, it can always be accessed. Of course, that's easier now than it was in 2009 with all the internet and the The actual trip is June 8th, 2026. It's 9 days, 2 nights in London, 2 nights in Paris, and 3 nights in Rome. And the contractual agreement is between passports and the enrolled participant, not the school. So all the money goes from the participant to passports, not to the school. So the school is not involved in that money at all. Just to talk a little bit about the benefits of student travel. I've listed a few here. There's increased cultural awareness, personal growth through stepping outside one's comfort zone, improved problem solving skills, and something else goes wrong. You're gonna lose your luggage, or flight's gonna be delayed, and then language development, boosting confidence, that's a really important one. Greater independence. Some of our students haven't even ever been in a hotel. So, I mean, I want to give them this opportunity. Deeper understanding of local issues, and creating valuable memories and experiences that can enhance academic learning, as well as show different career options, possibilities for them within that hospitality field or anywhere else. They might just hear about something and they're like, oh, I could do that, you know. It just kind of opens their eyes a little bit. And I also think that when you travel, when you come back home, it makes you better at home. It makes you see what can be done, and makes you want to help at home, I think. This itinerary I gave you is June 8th, and it is, the layout is 9 days, $5,185. This includes all accommodations, all hotels, all flights, all transportation, like picking us up at the airport, taking us to the hotel, taking us to wherever else we're going, getting into the metro. Then when we leave Paris, we'll fly from Paris to Rome. All that's included. We also all breakfasts and dinners are included, and one night there's dinner with music included. There's a 24-hour tour director that's with us the entire time, and bilingual, and they are paid and very trained and know what to do. They also will be providing a medical insurance plan as well, and there are a few optional add-ons that we can decide later. They can enroll through different ways and pay different ways, but just you can look through that at your own leisure, the breakdown. What I think we need to do first is we did come up with this flyer that I would like to be shared on social media, and maybe send letters home to the parents, because we have to get this information out, and then we need, with your approval of course, and then we need to have a parent meeting just to see. I mean, this is a year and a half away, but they need to start saving that money now if they want to go. So, do you have any questions for me?
I guess I'm a little bit confused. Why do you need our approval if it's a comparison? I mean, if it's,
Yeah.
Well,
If-
because it's an international travel with students, and it would be open to our students. And it would be, she's asking permission to provide the information to families for this opportunity
okay,
first, right? And to gauge interest and kind of give an idea. As far as money goes, if it's going directly through the travel agent, she just wants to be able to, I guess, publicize that here in the building to all of our students, make it an academic engagement and relevance to what they're learning in the classroom, and make it an incentive for students. Will there be fundraisers? I know that was a question.
That is something that we are open, I'm very open to do. Once we get some of the feedback on this flyer, because there's a form they can fill out,
Mhm.
we'll know more. That might be a little tricky though, because, like all fundraising profit would be sent to passports. So I don't know how we keep track, I don't know how we would keep track of each person's sales or whatever. If
Well,
we
the
had
way
each
this goes in the
yeah.
district is you raise money, and then it's split evenly across all participants.
Okay.
So that's how it would go. And so what would happen is be able to everybody would fundraise however much they bring in, we put it in one pot, and then we divide it evenly among
That's what we
students
did
who
before.
go. And then it would just be as simple as a check being written from the activity account to passports.
But that activity account will be a separate
I'd like
account
to have an
just
activity
for,
account This has had nothing to do with the school.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want an activity account for this.
in the
You would
school
not-
name.
okay.
Yeah,
Would you?
no, not with school name on.
I mean.
Do you have any
why not?
idea of what number of students we're talking about, or?
Well, the first time I took the group, I was only taking 6. So I really have no idea. I mean, there's lots of interest, but I don't know, it's expensive, so I don't know how many. And also, we have to have them prepared to pay that, cause there's no guarantee that we'll raise money, for
Sure.
that. So I'm hoping at least 10, but I really don't know until I talk to the parents. And also, they will combine us with other groups if we're a smaller group. Last time I went, we were combined with 4 other schools across the United States, and we were just in one group together, so.
So it needs to be probably a parent meeting. And that's what we're pretty much,
You're approving for her to be able to share this information and this opportunity with families, engage interest.
okay.
Okay, help me just a minute. As far as, you said it covers some medical insurance, but where are we as far as obligation? Does anybody have any ideas on that? I mean, I'm a little fuzzy.
Terry, what would you think on that?
I don't believe our school's insurance will cover, but that's something I have to look into, and I can do that. To find out from our carrier and see.
They have a general liability insurance, $5 million total, and then they have the business liability, $2 million per occurrence, $4 million for aggregate.
Is that included in that price?
Yeah.
It's got the.
All participants' payments are fully protected. Yeah, so they've got all the details here.
Are there any questions?
Well, I guess my question is exactly what, if we were to make a motion, what is it supposed to be?
The motion would be to approve, to gauge interest and provide information to families and have a parent meeting to be able to, so it wouldn't be approval of the trip, it would be able to share information.
Okay.
Yeah,
The approval of what?
it wouldn't be approval. We're not
No,
approving the trip.
But what are we
It's,
voting on?
we're gonna approve for them to get, to
Do you provide her, do you give her permission to offer this opportunity to our students and have a parent meeting to describe the opportunity?
and we're not
That's
committed.
what your approval is.
Yeah,
Well, I think as long as it's clear that it's not the school
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
and or our responsibility,
Yeah.
unless they trip up here and get hurt, then it's ours.
yeah.
As their loading.
We could have it off-site, but if we go to church, we'd be mixing church and state, so can't do that.
Are there any more questions?
So Ellen, is that a motion or?
I didn't make a motion, I
Okay.
just was comment.
Gotcha, okay.
Can I get a motion to be able to discuss this with the parents? And
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say the same. Thank you.
Beth, I assume that you will report back to us about the student interest and those kinds of things
Yes, and
before.
I'd love for, if they would do and go, that they would come back and present to you all.
Okay, thank you.
Now we'll move on to number 5, approval of the new pay rate for data seam apprenticeship. Are there any questions?
Terry's gonna describe the change.
Okay.
Okay, so Grant has been working, as you all know, very hard on getting things kind of straightened up. And what he's found is that our data seam worker has been at the same rate of pay last year and so far this year. Now, what we didn't know is that these students should actually bump up every year in pay. So what we're asking is that they go from $8.25 to $8.50 an hour for this year. And that was recommended by DataSync for us.
From 825 to 850, okay.
And let me give you just a comparison. Our Learn and Earn students make $10 an hour. So we
Yeah.
wanna get, and we
But-
can't do that.
Yes.
We learned that you can't make too big of a jump,
Yeah.
but we wanna start moving that direction to make it comparable.
Are there any questions? Can I get a motion for the pay rate?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say the same. All right, we'll go to number 6, consider approval for either the change order 5 or the change order 6.
Or he clarified, isn't that what Mr.
It is, it is.
So we're good, right?
We're good, yeah, unless there's any more
For
questions.
the money to be collected from the board.
No, for you,
Out of your
it's
pocket.
coming out of your wallet, that's what.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused. Why is it,
The word or,
Or.
I'm looking right now.
$311 or something.
It was $400 and something
Was it
to add 12 feet.
It should be the word and, it's a mistake
Yeah.
in
The
that.
net cost
It's
was
a mistake in that.
Yeah,
motion.
can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
aye,
Opposed, say the same. Motion carried. Okay, approval to submit emergency day waiver request to Kentucky Commissioner of Education.
This is Mr. Berta?
Yes, so, everybody kinda knows the circumstances that we faced yesterday, for our student attendance day. So I talked to the Kentucky Department of Education, and they said that our circumstance yesterday would classify as an emergency day, meaning that our local Board of Education may request an emergency day waiver if one school or part of our district is forced to miss a school for an emergency. So we just need you all to approve that superintendent housekeeper can submit that waiver to the Commissioner of Education so that we don't have to make that
Is that,
day up or.
what's the waiver mean?
It's just allowing us not to make that day up.
Or use an NTI day, or use a bank day.
Yeah, it doesn't count against our.
It counts as a good day,
It
not a
does.
bad day.
Yeah.
Correct.
And don't have to use the rest of our 2 that are left. for
That is
that.
correct.
how's
Yeah.
attendance
Winter.
calculated on that?
That's a good question. An approved emergency day waiver shall be the length of the student attendance day established in the school board approved calendar. So it would be the length of our school day.
Okay.
Essentially, it's an NTI day.
Well, we sure wanna get it, don't we?
Yes.
Yes. I'd rather have it than not have it.
Whatever to get
I'd,
it.
Can I
I'd
get,
like to make the motion.
okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say the same. Motion carried. All right, now, 7B would be approval for Gear Up, to move to participate in the new grant application.
Is there a
Are there
reason
any
not to?
questions?
Heck no, not a
Can,
reason.
can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say the same.
Same.
Motion carried. Now I need approval to enter into closed session. Can I get a motion? Can I get a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Please say. Motion carried.
I'm gonna start drinking because it's illegal.
Yeah.
I didn't
We're
have to
waiting to get
actually
everybody
vote.
in here.
Yes, okay.
What does, what,
Because Alan was asking if we needed to.
all right. What is that called, Tabitha?
It's not that bad, but just
Ta-
wait a minute.
What is that called that we're going to vote on?
Approval
Early-
to allow
Early
a
graduation.
student to graduate early.
Yeah.
Don't say early graduation.
Yeah.
There is a big difference.
Okay.
Graduate early.
All right, we'll move on to the next agenda. Approval to graduate a student early. Is that how it needs to be?
To allow students to graduate early.
To allow a student to graduate early. Can I
I'll
get-
make the motion for the student to graduate early.
Can I, all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Opposed say the same. Motion carried. Now we'll move on to the financial officer update.
I just got some taxes, for y'all tonight. At the end of November, we have collected, just for the month of November, $131,205.48, which brings our year-to-date total to $334,825.37. As compared to last year, we had 299,321, so about 35,000 more than what we did last year at this time. And I went a little bit further, because, December's starting to pick up, kind of give you a peek into what we've done, from the end of November up to now. We have collected 821 bills, for a total of $620,946.61, so that's about $290,000 just in 17 days that we've collected in taxes from the end of November. As of right now, there's still 950 outstanding bills, totaling in the amount of $515,089.78. So we broke the halfway mark.
Does that seem about right? I mean, it's December and
Yeah,
nearly
we're eagerly awaiting, several,
Big ones?
mortgage company packets
yeah,
that pay.
okay. Have our friends at the Mint paid?
Yes, they paid this month,
Okay.
about $132,000.
About what we figured.
Yeah, so they paid, I was looking at kind of what we took in last year in December, and it was close to about $450,000, so we're looking to.
Sort of need to do that, huh?
Yeah, we're
But you've
waiting
already
for
gotten,
those.
how much did you say, 100 and something?
Just for this, just for the month of November, we took in
But how much in
$131,205.
December have you taken?
And then so far in December, roughly about $290,000 from the end of November to now. And we still haven't got those mortgage packets yet, so those will be another
Okay,
couple
that's
$100,000.
big. Are they pretty consistent to get them here before?
Yeah, we'll either get them,
They just redone all them buildings.
kind of close to the end of December, if not the first week of January, which we all backdate, depending on how the mail runs and when they get sent.
Yeah, because they'd all have penalties.
Yeah, and we're looking for about, anywhere between $200,000 to $300,000 for those packets to come in.
Okay.
Are there any questions for Dalton?
Well, Dalton wasn't here last year. Dalton, between the 2 years, our net so-called profit has dropped from 5.6% to 3.7%. The net in 23 was 431,798, and this year it's less. It's 288.
It's on page 15. Have you got yours with you?
Yeah, I've got mine on there.
And I just wondered if this is a trend, then we're not gonna show a profit this year. I hate to
Well-
call it a profit, but net over
Well,
income.
I'm fairly confident we're gonna net positive this year. We budgeted pretty conservatively, with the taxes.
Do you have any idea why it was down from 23 to 24?
Could just be how the budget
You
was
just came in
prepared.
late, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know how the budget was prepared or what numbers. I know they were kinda trying to get that done in a pretty quick manner, so I don't know how they factored in everything, but with Jan's help, we went over 4 or 5 years of historical data.
I was wanting to see, and I don't think I received the October statement to compare between the 2 years, so if I could get a November statement as of November 30th versus November 30th of 23, I'd like to see it, please.
I'll put that in my notes and I'll get those printed out.
Does that include our ESSER funds, or is that just general is what you're talking about?
General.
Okay.
Make sure he gets this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll print both of those statements.
I'd appreciate it. I just wanna see where you are balance-wise.
Yes, sir.
But I hope we're not spending more than we have, that's all I'm asking.
No, I think it might have been this month, I'll have to go look at my spreadsheet, we actually had more credits than we did debits, either this month or last month.
Then if we
and we're-
collect our taxes, we hopefully be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we're consistently staying around that 2.2, in the general fund balance.
Okay.
Now it's time for a staff up, are there any more questions for Dalton? I'm sorry, girls.
No, I think.
Thank you.
Now it's staff update, Carrie Handel. Ms. Handel?
Being here this time, the new hires, we had Miss Kelly Smith, and she is doing the Save the Children After School Coordinator position. We have Heather Farms, who is now a sub, Katie Waltz, who is a Save the Children After School substitute, Kristen Wyatt, a substitute, Lena Hughes is a substitute aide, Stacy Wallace is the Save the Children After School tutor, Timothy Barnes is our high school boys assistant basketball coach and a sub, and Miss Tanya Burkhart, who is a substitute aide. Our resignation is Brian Burda, our assistant director, and for FMLA, we have Miss Donna Cruisenberry, who is at home with her precious baby boy John.
All right, thank you so much. Are there any questions? Debs, is that it?
That's it. Talking.
Guys, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say the same. Thank you all.